Two wrongs do not make a right. Let's get into it. Hi, and welcome back to Oak Lore Duir. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Claire Attier. For those that are returning subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. Today is a tough episode. It's going to be a tough episode. It's something that I really have been putting off for quite a few days, but Spirit keeps putting it on my radar, keeps putting it on my radar. Not only is Spirit putting it on my radar, but also there are a lot of promotions to incite hatred. The world, humanity are in a very critical space at the moment. And I am going to talk about the Hamas and the Israel situation. And first of all, I want to say this has nothing to do with religion. Absolutely nothing to do with religion. People will say, oh, well, there's always been wars, there's always been religion. It's got absolutely nothing to do with religion. Look at your religions. If you're Muslim, it clearly says, Muhammad clearly said, what you do unto one, you do unto all of us. It is against murder. If you look at the Torah, it says basically the same. If you look at the Bible, it says the same. This has nothing to do with religion and everything to do with man's inability to share, man's need and desire, the lower vibrating negative aspects of humanity for greed, for power, for domination, for land. The land doesn't even fucking belong to us. The land belongs to Gaia. We are stewards of the land. And I'm actually going to bring YouTube into this as well, because YouTube are allowing promotional adverts inciting hatred, inciting following. Murder is murder. It was an act of terrorism, a horrific act of terrorism. And yet a war has broken out yet again. And the one thing that keeps coming on, and I keep being shown from Spirit, is the whole IRA. I grew up, I was a 60s child, and so in a horrific time when England was under attack, having terrorist attacks continuously. And I'm not saying that the British were angels. I'm not saying that the British didn't do any harm in Ireland, because they did. Our history is horrific. The history of the Gaza Strip is horrific. But are we really going to keep looking back? Or are we actually just going to pull up our big girl pants, our big boy pants, and actually start to move forward? So many communities were building fruitful, cherishing, loving, inclusive communities on the Gaza Strip. And yet the few have now ruined the work that was being done, the generational clearing that was being done in just a day's act of terrorism. And then the horrific response to that. Because let's be honest, had in our height of our terrorist attacks that we were receiving in England, had London ordered a bomb to go and bomb Dublin, which is effectively what's going on, the world wouldn't be turning the other cheek, wouldn't be looking the other way. It's an act of genocide. The people of Gaza, they have no way of getting out safely. They have nowhere to move to. Egypt doesn't want them because they don't want to be brought into it. If you treasure your religion on both sides, on every side, globally, whatever your religion is, What does your religion say about killing another man? Because every religion in the world says we do not kill. And so you have to ask yourself, what is this all about? It's about power. It's about money. It's about control. It's about land that doesn't even belong to us. We are here as stewards. The land belongs to Gia. And all the while, this is taking us away from the opportunity that we have on a spiritual level of creating a new era, creating a new world. There is no mistaking why this has happened now. For those of you that are awakening, for those that you are on the pathway, you will know why this has happened now. This has happened now to lower our vibrations. And yes, at the moment, I am angry. I'm not going to stay in this anger. I am not going to allow this to change the trajectory of where we want to take humanity. And that place where we want to take humanity is where all of humanity are equal. All of humanity live in peace and harmony. All of humanity have the right to follow the religion that they choose without dictation from another country, without dictation from another religion. Faith is a very personal thing. And yet faith and the books that man wrote about each of those faiths is what has been creating discord on our planet for centuries. Are we really going to allow one act, one horrific act, I'm not going to take it away, one horrific act of violence, of terrorism, to undo all the work that was taking place? Are we really going to bring more generations into this world with the same hatred, learning only their side of the history? When I grew up in school and we did history, I used to think Great Britain was it was fantastic. We dominated the world. Wow. We were Great Britain. And we had all these colonizations over the planet. And then as an adult, I started looking into how we actually got that. And we got that through violence. We got that through greed. We got that through manipulation, intimidation. There isn't a single country on this planet that has clean hands. But are we going to focus on that? Or are we going to focus on the future? Focus on creating a world where humanity can live in peace. And yeah, we're fully aware that there are going to be fractions around the world that don't want that. But ask yourselves, who's actually gaining from this current situation? Who's actually making the money from this current situation? Who's actually going to be gaining greater power from this current situation? Because it's not the people that are living in fear. It's not the people that are being killed. It's not even the freaking soldiers that are pulling the triggers. And I had that the other day. I had somebody say about the unfortunate situation where a sniper shot dead a little girl for throwing a stone at a soldier and the outrage that they felt. But I also want to put the other side of the coin. That soldier was probably subscribed. Israel still has compulsory subscription. Your 18-year-old children, if you live there, have to go into the military. They learn to become killing machines. And for sure, that moment that trigger was pulled, there was a fear that that stone was a grenade. This is the bullshit that we are having to look at, to deal at. We're not even having to do it. We're having to witness it. Those people are living it. Both sides are hurting. Both sides are in survival mode. And yet governments are creating this. Governments are supposed to be there for safeguarding us, for creating order. And yet what we're actually seeing is complete disorder and a complete lack of safety. Don't turn the other cheek. Don't look the other way. Don't take a side. Because neither have their hands clean. The people need to stand. The people need to stand. We need to stop looking at governments, those in power, because those in power just want more power and they're not concerned with the cost of the people. I don't know what else to say. The one thing that's been coming in for me is, yes, allow yourself to be angry. Yes, allow yourself to be upset. Yes, we have all these emotions for a reason. We're meant to feel them. We are not meant to stay in them, and we are certainly not meant to build foundations of living on them, which is what we have done, which is why we have these conflicts. Look at both sides. Whether you're Jewish, look at the side of the Hamas. What's going on there? What wounds are they also carrying? If you're on the side of the Hamas, then look at the Israeli side. What wounds are they carrying? What fears are going on with them? There have been atrocities within this area of our planet for generations, century after century after century. Is it not time to stop it? Is it not time to draw a line under it and to spend the money? And I think that was one of the things that really got to me, was the amount of money that is going into advertising to keep the hatred alive. That money is better spent teaching and healing to move towards a better future. And I'll leave it at that. Blessings to you all.